Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Whims of the Creator. It is once again I, J3 Puffin, here with Paru,
What's up, guys?
and we're talking about the green cards in Paru's take on the Touhou property as a Weiss Schwartz set. And let's talk about this little cutie. This is Hata no Kokoro, being expressive. That he has a very expressive face there. See that? It's the pinnacle
That's right.
of emotional expression. There's a marker underneath this card. This card gets +1 level and +15 power. Power. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a fantasy character, put it underneath this card as a marker. You may put it face down underneath this card as a marker. You're not forced to. There are other things that do that. She is also an on-play climax swap, which is an interesting compression of roles, but I don't think it's an amazing one per se.
No, you play it as like a climax swap first,
Yeah.
and then it's like the Luna from Hololive. It's just a card that you can like play turn one. The marker effect is also just like good to have like later in the game, even past the early game. If you're triggering clean, you can set up 5 card brainstorms. Yeah, I mean it's just a good climax swap. And then she's like putting on a mask, right?
Yeah.
Flavor's pretty obvious on this one.
Yeah, it's super on point for that. Just the you find your mask off the top of your deck. That's the expression she's going with. And if she whiffs, she is expression sad. Like we had a little bit of talk on this in the no patience review, talking about the level 0 Narissa card, because that is also doing a very similar thing, but instead of being a climax swap, she is fishing out your finisher, and like I do like the roll compression on these kind of cards, but you know what? Come to think of it, I think that card is also sitting at 3K. So you know what?
Nice.
Maybe I am complaining about a thing that I've already also done myself. Also, this has the level, so like it's kind of a question of like, is 3K plus dodging level 0 bombs plus climax swap late game, is that enough to make it a double rare? That's really kind of the question on my mind. Like, there's probably a level 0 in this color that could have ended up in this slot and have this be like a rare instead. Because, like,
Yeah, that's possible.
yeah, that's probably where I'm at actually on it. Like, the card itself is perfectly good. The rarity is a little bit of an issue, but like that's the last thing you do anyway. So like, it makes sense that might not be perfect on every card.
You could argue for like the Lyrica, which we'll see in a few slides, maybe have been a double rare. But other than that, there's only like 2 really good green zeros, and this is one of them.
That's fair. Speaking of double rares in green, though.
We have Sanae Kochia, Living God, 104,000 power, Fantasy Shinto Goddess. She's got all the traits going on. Beginning of climax phase. If this card is in center stage and all your characters are the global trait, choose a character. That character gets 1,000 power and twin drive for the turn. You can choose itself, it can choose another guy. When the Great Miracle, Yasaka's Divine Wind, is placed in your climax area, if she's in your center stage and all your characters are fantasy, search your deck for a fantasy character. So this kind of deck thinning, and twin drive also combos quite nicely with. There's a bar climax support that's intended to be used directly with this card.
So like, this is interesting because like you look at a card like this with like an effect that's giving out to other characters, and you're like, oh hey, look, it's like a Coronet style combo where you just like stack all of this onto it. But no, because A, it's not on reverse, and B, it's twin drive. So you're not actually like throwing this around everywhere, right? Because it's in your center stage, you're probably already targeting it like herself with the effect in the first place. But
Mm-hmm.
like if there's like some hypothetical reason, like if you have like you could stack this on like a character with like choose your trigger on it, or like your character that has the on reverse like stock charge effect or whatever. There's ways to play around with it, but ultimately, in a lot of cases, what this looks like is just kind of a like a little like specifically timed version of like continuous. If all of your characters are fantasy, this card gets 1K in Twin Drive for a lot of purposes.
So Princess Connect had that effect on a runner, and it was just like useful throughout the entire game to give like that extra 1,000 power to something
Hmm.
that otherwise wasn't going to be able to win a lane, or to something that's just more important than the Sinai. So like if you have an early play or something that you need to live more than you need the Sinai to live, you can just give that 1,000 power and twin drive over to that card instead.
That's fair. But like, look at her. Why would you ever want to make that sacrifice? Could you do that emotionally?
That's true. Well, you can stack the power to the level 2 Sanai.
That's fair. There are other Sanais are available.
What is a climax combo? I mean, like this is like good, right?
Oh
Ayakashi
yeah,
Triangle like plays this, and that one's I think only 500 power bigger. If you like, assuming that you're giving this 1,000 power to itself, I think the
yeah,
Ayakashi Triangle one's 500 power more than this one, and that
What's-
card's still pretty good.
yeah. What's the other thing that one does?
It loses a level on stage, is why it's bigger. Oh, but and then if you're playing like the Goddess deck, it's good to be playing this card anyways because it combos on there's another like well you're incentivized to play 8 bar, and there's another card that combos on the same bar that
Yeah,
you probably only play like 1 to 2 copies of, but you play 1 to 2 copies of it, so why not?
yeah. Before I was like thinking that maybe this combo by itself is actually like maybe too good of a thing to need with a double combo. Actually thinking about it, like no, this is perfectly fine to have as a double combo.
Oh yeah, the other one's very minor.
Yeah.
It's a thing that you already happen to be playing it, might as well.
Yep. Let's just go over her real fast. Sanai
Yeah.
Kochia, deified human of wind. When she attacks, she is a level 3 character, or if she's facing a level 3 character, gets 6k, so level 3 killer. And then when this attacks, if the wind, or the bar named Divine Wind is in your climax area, you can pay a stock to heal, which, oh, the Twin Drive pays for it.
Oh,
Okay.
the twin drive pays for it.
Yeah, you
Huh?
give the twin drive from the 1-0 to the 2-1, and now you're paying 2 stock, but you're not like actually paying stock for the heal at that point. You're going like neutral on it, kind
That is an interesting way to view that.
of. Yeah, that's a thing. But yeah, this is like incidental combo. You're already playing the other one anyway.
Yeah,
Extra soul
why
triggers in
not?
your deck. Push damage.
Love Life played theirs, but theirs burned instead of healed. So
Yeah.
maybe that's better. Healing's good too. Living an extra turn is like getting a ton more burns on your opponent
Yeah.
than if you had just died.
Yeah, like in modern day, where like a bunch of sets have the ability to just like kill people like mid two. Like if you are able to survive that because you healed one or two early on, and then come around to be like, all right, well I have all that finishing power and an extra turn of it because I didn't die. We see it with some of the sample plays that you get from channels like Tresses and whatnot, where it's just like, oh yeah, that extra turn is like really good.
And the level 3 combo for this archetype is like super stock light anyways. So like paying that extra stock for a heal in the mid game isn't gonna like be the difference between you resolving and not resolving your combo.
Yeah, we can live. We can live with it.
It's all hand.
All hand all the time. All right.
We got Watatsuki no Yorihime and her older sister Watatsuki no Toyohime. So Yorihime is if you have 4 more other fantasy characters, she gets -1 level in your hand. So early play on your turn, she gets 2,000 power if you're playing Weiss Schwartz. And when she is placed on the stage from hand, you can heal from clock to stock, or you can look it up to X, choose a card from among them. X is equal to the number of your fantasy characters.
I wonder what her power line would be if you were playing Vanguard instead of White Schwartz. That's a mystery. But yeah, this card is like decent to good by itself, and because it has support, is kind of cracked.
Now, this one is definitely deserving of its double R status, I think. Yeah, and it has a crazy support card. It's very similar to like the Chutu and Pareo
Oreo.
from Bang Dream Ras. That's what it was called. It was called Ras. Uh, so she combos
Rest.
with her older sister. Why don't you tell me what does the older sister do?
Watatsuke no Toyohime. If you have a copy of the 3 tier in your center stage, this card gets 5,500 power and created hand encore. All of your other copies of the level 3 get 2,500 power, and they fall into effects. Hexproof, and at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may pay 1 to choose that and one of your fantasy characters and exchange them as stand. And then she also, on the play, pitch a traded character to search for the early play. So, yeah,
You will
pretty
you
correct.
will always have it ready.
Uh huh. Make her a 13k hexproof swing on your turn and an 11k defensive body on your opponent's. It also can choose what lane it's blocking in.
At level 2, you're probably healing to stock. So it's like a double hand filter. This filters a card out, and then the Yorihime filters a card out of your hand. It can't be chosen, gets around, anti-change, exchange makes it so that like your big cards can be big in other lanes instead. Yeah, okay, really good card.
Making things
It do
happen.
be doing a lot. You can play low counts of both of these. And then just like only sculpt the Toyohime, because then that one gets the Yorihime for you. It's like a little package that you can just play in every deck. And then you only have to play like 2 of these,
Yeah.
assuming that you're
Fair.
like getting a good refresh and that like weird things didn't happen. But that's gonna happen in every deck. And no matter how you plan for it, it's always gonna be like worse than you could have ever imagined.
Yeah, that's fair. What?
I play a level 1 and a level 2 combo in my main Weiss Schwartz deck right now. Can you believe that? And I didn't see either of them in like a high stakes game I played recently.
I have
Neither.
heard some incredible horror stories lately.
Imagine not seeing either a level 1 or 2 combo. Do you know what? Do you know how much time you have to prepare for that? And this didn't happen.
Yeah.
Hey man, this game sometimes it's like it really tests your patience.
Yeah, for real. Remind me, who are these? So both these characters are
Oh
moon,
yeah,
right?
so relevant. They are both green, in addition to another character from the moon who is also green. They're like royalty on the moon.
Oh, okay.
Yorihime has the power to like call down the gods of the moon and then like use their powers. Like she can like channel the powers of the gods. And Toyohime can manipulate like boundaries. She's basically Moon Yukari. She can change the boundary between the moon and the earth, and I think can mess with like the boundaries on the moon itself.
Huh, okay.
They're both so the moon people are like just incredibly hostile. In one of the mangas, Silent Sinner in Blue, the Scarlet Devil Mansion crew, they build a rocket ship and blast off to the moon. And these two like confront them when they get there. And even Yukari, who's like stupidly powerful and has like reality breaking powers, is like, I wouldn't mess with those guys. So that like they are just like inherently like crazy powerful that like no character can like one v one them basically.
Yeah, I played in a D&D game
Uh huh.
that started off just kind of like a sort of like kind of fascinating science fantasy hybrid thing. It ended up turning into that. As its final arc, it ended up doing exactly that. We built a ship, like a in our case it was like a we converted like we got like an airship and like converted it for space travel
Uh
to
huh.
go to the moon to fight the moon people because one of our players was a moon rabbit who betrayed us. And so we went to scorched earth their homeland and as a result of their betrayal and constant bothering us and trying to kill us and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they like went and like took out like the earth in response. Like they went through and were like like going through and like taking care of it. Like, well, if we can't have the moon, we're gonna have the earth instead. So like both sides sent like practically like I don't know like genocide parties to like trade each other, which is
Yeah.
wild. And then the game ended with our party pushing the moon back into our own planet so we could send both of bodies into the sun to get rid of the moon people once and for all.
Yeah, that was the right call to make.
Yeah. So like
Sorry, moon people.
yeah.
Sorry, all you moon people watching this video.
Yeah, that DM was also my Touhou fan roommate. So like he
Oh,
was
that
not
sounds
shy.
entirely possible
Yeah,
that there could have been.
he legitimately was like, yeah, no, I got quite a few of these ideas from Touhou. Like the whole original purpose of like the sun was like this like soul refinery furnace kind of thing. The fact that
Yeah.
like it incinerated the planets was just kind of like, well, that's what a sun would do. Like,
Um,
yeah.
it's kind of funny about this Yorihime. Mostly, I'm a very big fan of the Toho Lost Word art. That's like the mobile game, not actually like it's not by Zune, but it's like it has his blessing at least,
Mm.
and it's just like a gotcha RPG, like every other gotcha RPG
Yeah.
featuring Toho characters. There are a few characters who, despite having otherwise like pretty loosely fitting clothes, like Yorihime and Patchouli, like they're super caked up for no reason. Like it's really not like needed.
Yeah.
Like the cheeks do not need to be like that well defined. It's like actually kind of like uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's fair. I hadn't even
Anyway,
thought of
I
that.
just thought that was funny.
Like I noticed it, but I hadn't like thought of it as like a. But yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
that's fair.
No, okay, it's even worse on Patchouli, who basically is wearing like loose fitting pajamas,
Yeah.
and you can see on her art that it's super loose, except right there
Oh
where it's
man.
like skin tight, super well defined, and it's like, and like even like the devs have mentioned it, like, yeah, we know, we're sorry.
But we're not sorry enough to change it. Like we're committed to
No,
leaving
not sorry enough
it.
to change it. That's right.
Oh man.
Let's look at a tree.
Yeah, this is a tree. This is and tree.
This is a really cool tree. This is the flavor plus plus tree. This might be my favorite card in the set, and I'll tell you like why at the end when I do my little spiel about it. So it's Saigyo Ayakashi. It is a 500 power green level 0 fantasy death. It cannot attack or be chosen by opponent's card effects. You can rest it, choose one of your characters, and it gets 1,000 power until the end of the turn. Choose a death or spirit character in your waiting room. And if the total number of cards in your memory and marker areas is 4 or less, put that card face up underneath this card as a marker. This also has a climax combo with the Yuyuko book. At the end of your other level 3 Yuyuko's attack, if you are level 3 or higher, you can pay 2, sack 2 fantasy characters, and put the book climax from your climax area into the waiting room. Put all markers in your marker areas into the waiting room. Deal X damage to your opponent. If the level 3 Yuyuko was put into your waiting room from the marker area, you may put it on an open position of your stage. If the total number of markers put into your waiting room this ability is 1 or 2, the burn is equal to 1. If it was 3 or more, the burn is equal to 3. So how this ends up playing out is that you attack with your 3 Yuyukos. On the last one, you would resolve this card, sacking 2 characters, hopefully summoning the 4th Yuyuko from underneath one of the Saigyo Ayakashis you might have. You get 1 extra burn, and then like that Yuyuko swinging without a climax is your final attack. Now, before I give the big, lore spiel, is there anything you would like to say about the card?
Yeah, this is fascinating, right? Because it's partially it's like a take of sorts off the Exodia Quince tutor guy, except that instead of needing to Exodia pieces together to obliterate, it's like just like slowly throughout the game, giving yourself just enough resources, and then turn around and being like, all right, fishing turn, go go go, 3 finishers, do the thing, do the book, and then just like this extra little jab for like a 3, and then another probably 3 because well no I guess it'd be just 2
It'd probably
probably
be 3-2 at the very end.
maybe like if what depending on if you're trigger or not. Wait a minute. We'll talk about that in the next card actually because I think I just noticed something. But it's weird because like this card cannot attack is such a powerful drawback, but like I think in this case it probably just makes it even out. It's like the hexproof is like 500 already, but the cannot attack is like a 1500 thing. So it would technically have like it'd be spending like 3500 to get to this, and I don't know for sure how you get there, but I mean it's a tree. It's fine. It's one of those Gadget has used this term before. It's one of those custom cards where this card being 500 power is completely irrelevant to everything else. Like this could be 500, it could be 3500, it could be
It could be
87.
35 power.
Yeah, it could be 87,000 power. No one cares necessarily because what it's
Okay,
doing
well,
doesn't.
if it was
At,
actually 87,000 power, you would just slap it in the front and your opponent would never kill it.
well, yeah, they just use a bomb on it, and that's fine.
No, Sag.
Because
Smoge.
like yeah, but like it's one of those cards where like the power line may not be correct, but it legitimately just does not matter for the card's purpose and stuff, and it is a very cool and flavorful way of like getting it your level 3 subject matter. The only thing that's doing outside of that is a little bit of incidental compression and some power plus, which that might be relevant somewhere. Like something that gets the benefits off the reverse, like outside of just you know making your opponent minus to refill their board or whatever, because that is
Mhm.
part of Wise too. But yeah, this is really good. It's really cool. Maybe the power line isn't right, but it legitimately does not matter on this card.
Okay, so the Saigyo Ayakashi is a yokai cherry tree. The problem with it is that it never blooms. Yuko, in the events of Touhou 7, hears that there's like a person's soul like trapped in the tree or underneath it or whatever, and figures, oh, well, maybe if I can like remove the seal from the tree, we can bloom it and revive whoever's soul is like in the tree. Thousands of years, or however many years, it doesn't really matter. Many, many, many years before this. So Yuko is she's a human, and she has the power to just induce death. She can just kill things by deciding that she wants to. But she's like a very kind person, and so it like bothers her that she has this power, and she ends up using the power on herself while she is underneath this tree. She comes to as like a ghost and doesn't really remember her life as a human after that. So during Perfect Cherry Blossom, you beat Yuko. She's trying to get spring essence to try to break the seal on the tree, revive the person, bloom the tree. Reimu shows up, beats the fuck out of Yuko. Then this message pops up on the screen, remembering the melancholy of human existence. Even ghosts stray from the path of righteousness. And then like this silhouette of Yuko just appears with the tree in the background. You can't fight it. You have to just sit there for 60 seconds while it just peppers you with bullets, and you survive or you don't. So that you can kind of see like where the flavor of this comes from. After Yuko's done, if she didn't finish the job, the imperfect Yuko without the climax comes out of the tree and gets one more jab on your opponent. By the way, the Yuko is supposed to have two soul, just in case anyone was wondering.
Yep.
So what do you think? The flavor on this is like super sick, right?
Yeah. Good.
I like Yuko. She's really cute. She's got pink
Yeah.
hair. There. Oh, look. Oh, wow. The what? How did that happen? The card has two soul now.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
You're always because this is like mostly stock costed and sacking. You're always able to do like 3 Yukos in a tree.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. It's like a cheap finisher option. It's on book, not the best trait, or not the best trigger. But the combo itself is fine. It's like an icy tail, and it gives your opponent's characters negative power, so you can pop things with it.
Yeah.
It's good at annoying your opponent. Oh, and the next card is the Yuko. Let's talk about that real quick.
So this is Yuriko, the Netherworld Princess. She definitely looks like a princess to me. Dear God. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand or by the auto effect of the tree, you may heal. When this attacks, if you have the book in your climax area and you have another fantasy character, you may pitch a card from your hand to icy tip your opponent 3 cards for level zeros, not just climaxes, and also give minus 2k to one of your opponent's characters till end of turn. Icy Tail 3 go for like any level 0 is already like an improvement, at least for me, a lot in a lot of cases on like the classic Icy Tail. It's like,
You're probably always hitting one, or
yeah,
at least one, rather.
yeah, like just pitch one for like easy 1 or 2 damage and some decompression, like solid. The power minus on top of that, just also just like that's all a little extra fuck you. Who doesn't love those? I remember having like doubts about the power like setup on this, but I think we resolved those at some point. Just being like, yeah, this
Yeah,
is
some
fine.
combination of talking about Aaron Titan and something else.
Yeah,
You know what? And sometimes Bushiroad just arbitrarily says this card is going to be better. We're just going to make it better than an existing card with the same cost, same conditions.
yeah, they, yeah,
Honestly, also like popping brainstorms at level 3 is not actually like it's not crazy or anything.
yeah. It's not a significant level of like,
If this was like a thing you could do it too, then maybe I would say like yeah, the power loss is like
oh god, yeah.
a little much.
I have a historic problem of printing level 3 finisher combos that you can just early play, And like I can already see no, this would not be early playable in
I
any
hope
way.
this set doesn't have a broken early play finisher.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
This card's great, and she just looks so fucking cute. Oh my god.
Yeah, Yuko is like the big cute, and like she's like the most like likable character ever.
Yeah.
Like tragically died, but now is like a cute ghost,
Yeah,
and like
like
she spends her days as a ghost, just like stuffing her face with food.
fucking hell, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Congratulations, you. God, does that maybe put her in? I think that
I
just.
think with the tree, like she gets an A because like this becomes like a super like decent finisher for cheap, like super cheap, and it's flavorful. She can induce death in your opponent's brainstorm. Oh, are we getting a cuteness rating or something similar?
Something similar. Uh, Here, we're just gonna put that.
Oh, she is a waifu. She's a good waifu
Just
choice.
gonna put that like that, and
Yeah.
she's great. Yeah, no, I think that immediately, just like she's just spontaneously like shot up to like in the top three. Just going through like the personality stuff. I didn't know that for sure until before. But yeah, no, I have a very strong set of weaknesses for pink-haired girls who like to eat food.
Oh my god, we're gonna talk about Mystia soon. In Touhou 8, if you play as Yomu and Yuko, when you fight Mystia, Yuko talks about wanting to eat Mystia. And then after the fight, Yuko's like, there's a bone stuck in my teeth. And
She
so, yeah, I don't know. Mystia comes back, so obviously she didn't like game over or anything. Yuko, okay, the banter between Yomu and Yuko is really funny in that game. She also says something like, Yomu, cover your eyes. Like, because Raisin's eyes, like, can induce, like, madness in people.
Uh-huh.
And Yuko's like, no, Yomu, cover your eyes. And Yomu covers her eyes, and she's like, no, Lady Yuko, I can't see anything. It's dark. It's like, yeah, you idiot. Yomu's a dork, too. But, it's really funny. I like those two characters a lot.
Cover your
They,
eyes.
what is it? Throughout the entire game, if you play as Yomu and Yuko, they are just like goofing off with one another the entire time. It's like Yuko messing with Yomu, and Yomu like responding as like a straight man to like the most ridiculous things that Yuko says.
Yes. Love that dynamic.
The only problem is that I hate playing as them because Yomu's shot type shoots the opposite direction from the button you press. And then Yuko's shot type covers the entire screen but does no damage, basically, as a to compensate for it. So
Interesting.
I don't find either of them very fun to play. Apparently, solo Yomu is like the best character in the game because if you can use that shot type, it's just like crazy damage. Anyways, we're not even talking about Yomu right now. We'll get to Yomu.
Yeah, we will.
First, we have the Prism River Sisters.
Yeah.
All right, so we have all three of the Prism River Sisters in a row here. All three of them have some way to manipulate 3 cards from your deck because there's 3 of them. It's funny. They also all have the death trait. Death and spirit, remember, are important for the tree. You want to be playing targets that you can feed your tree.
Nurture the tree with the bones.
So Lyrica's on play, scry top of your deck or send it to waiting room. And then on attack during the turn you've played it from hand, pay 1, ditch 2, search for 2 fantasy characters, reveal them to your opponent, put them in your hand. So the scry is just like useful to mill an extra card or set up brainstorms or like decide attack order. Like if you see there's a climax on top, you can leave it in your deck, but then like attack with the Lyrica to shuffle your deck. So it's not like immediately synergistic, I guess. But like there's ways that the 2 effects can like commingle. And that first effect is really good. Like every set that has that first effect is like usually playing it.
Yep.
Being able to sculpt 2 of your level 1 combo, some might say is better than rickying for a single level 1 combo.
Some might say. Some might use those words. I probably would. The fact that this is swinging at like 1500 instead of 2k, and the fact that her secondary effect isn't like immediately synergistic, does mean that this isn't a strict upgrade from the plain old profile, but the plain old profile is perfectly fine. And yeah, there's definitely the case to be made that because it is a rare valued profile, like the Origami and Dal, who has this exact line of text and it's just a 2k rare. There's the argument that maybe this is a double rare just because it has something else it's doing, but it at least is not a strict upgrade because it is a card you absolutely need in your front row and is not really beating over that much in the grand scheme of things. Still
Can you
very
believe that I think the first one of these was just on play double drop search?
My God.
It's in Konosuba. It can only search for Darkness and Chris, but it's still just like a crazy card.
That's it. Yeah, that's insane. Wow. And they never
Yeah.
printed that again.
Well, not as far as I know. I don't think so. I imagine if it had been printed again, we would have heard about it.
Yeah, probably.
None of these are really flavorful beyond like working in threes. It is kind of funny that you can like use all of them like all together,
Yeah.
and you do kind of get something out of it. Let's look at the next one.
This is Merlin Prism River, the Poltergeist. They're all Poltergeist. On play, you can pitch a climax to salvage a fantasy character, return your hand. Look at 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 3 from among them, put them on top of your deck in a order, put the rest in your waiting room. So like a supercharged Mio on play effect with a character salvage at the price of needing to pitch a CX, which if you're playing this in you may not actually be playing you might be playing this in bar book instead, so not strictly 8 bar, but still perfectly fine.
This
to
is
have
pretty
a
playable in
filter.
either
Sure.
like Goddess or Death
Yeah.
decks.
And then she's also a cost 0 clock bomb. So, level 1. Clock bomb isn't the best type of bomb, but you play this card for that first effect and are just happy that it does something else in the world. So, that's fine.
Yeah, Merlin's cool. It's like a Sakura bomb from Heaven's Feel 1, but like cranked up a few notches. You know, in time with today's power creep. Anything that plays bar, you probably just play this Merlin.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like you could probably play it in like bar book.
Yeah, she's a food for the tree, so it's probably like there is definitely reasons to. It's just that you aren't like as guaranteed to get the bar filter as you would in an 8 bar deck. They are drawing cards anyway, so you might get there anyway. Yeah.
Merlin is kind of funny. You fight one of the sisters in Touhou 7 depending on which playable character you've chosen. I think you get Merlin if you picked Sakuya. Merlin is just like the worst one to fight. Like Sakuya is like a pretty good character. Like her shot types are both like kind of cracked actually. And I think Sakuya starts with one more bomb than the rest of the characters for whatever reason.
Deserved favoritism.
But then Merlin is like the worst thing ever. Because she has curvy lasers, and anyone who's played Touhou before knows that curvy lasers are like nightmare fuel. The laser is straight. It should go straight in the direction it's pointing. It should not curve into me.
Yeah. Like lasers shouldn't curve, period. I know that
No.
Prism. Wait, because she's a Prism River, so.
Whoa, bro. We didn't mention it for show, but show also has curvy lasers, and I've lost many a life to her first non-spell
Oh.
because those lasers be curving.
But why does she have curvy lasers? She's a tiger lady.
Well, she's got the prismatic pagoda thing.
The
You could make the argument it's like
prism.
reflecting around on it.
Okay, I see. That works. That's fine.
It's in the art of the Nazarene and show climax.
Yeah, I don't, man.
Okay.
What I do know is that this
We have Lunasa Prism River, the Poltergeist. 3,000 power, 2/1. But during your turn, she gets 10,000 power. So she's actually a 13k on your turn. And then she has like the true Rize effect. On play, reveal up to 3. Choose a character from among them, add it to hand. If you looked at any cards, discard 1. It's like a good effect that was broken on a level 0 and is just okay on a level 2. But it's on an otherwise playable profile anyways.
Yeah,
So why not?
More 3s.
It's a good common. Really good common.
Oh, yeah. Super solid good common.
It's like a card that you could play 1 copy of, and like sometimes it's a hand filter in a mill.
Yeah. And if you play her in conjunction with the sisters, it's like the Lyrica top checks you, so you can just like know if you want to like stick with that or not. Just like I'd rather not. That kind of thing.
You can play all 3 of them, but you have to make sure that if you play them on the stage, that their positions line up with the card art.
So wait, they all have to be center stage? Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I guess you could make the argument that Lyrica's in the back row.
Lyrica's definitely in the middle. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be a little rough at level 2.
Probably a little rough.
Unless like it's like they pushed you early and they have like a 1-0 in the right lane. Yeah, still damn.
Yeah, but these cost bombs are way better when your opponent has to front into them than when you have to than when they have to front you, or you know what I'm trying to say.
Uh-huh.
You would rather your opponent attack the cost bomb on their turn
Yeah.
than you have to crash it in.
Yeah. Misfortune. All right.
It's a fucking frog. No, she's not a frog. She just really likes them. She just really likes frogs. She's actually more associated with snakes than frogs.
She is the #1 fan of frogs.
She is the #1 fan of frogs.
This is
She and I will one sec actually. She and Cherno have like a rivalry because Cherno's like favorite hobby is like freezing frogs.
oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
And so Suwako has to go and say, please stop freezing the frogs.
You turn into freaking frogs into popsicle.
Okay, enough about the memes. What does she do?
Alright, this is Suwako Moria, native god. During your turn, your other fantasy character in the middle position of your center stage gets 1500 power. When your character's trigger check reveals a bar climax, pitch a card to Rico. You know, trigger on bar Rico. Interesting timing for that effect. Probably doing alright. And also, she is a draw to
See if I
brainstorm.
can get
Flip
in here.
4 for each card.
Yeah,
Draw
there's her flying animation from the fighting games.
Ah, there we go. But yeah, she's a draw to brainstorm, and only if you draw cards do you discard.
Right. I don't think there's any reason that you should have to discard a card if you don't draw.
It would be silly.
Yeah. Imagine them doing that.
Imagine.
I messed up at a locals once. I borrowed my friend's Gochi Usa deck,
Oh.
played down Coco Chino, and I said, I will not draw any cards. And then won that turn. And then afterwards a guy came up to me, he's like, bro, you cheated, bro. You didn't discard after not drawing cards.
Yeah.
And before that I had no idea that these kinds of effects required you to discard. They shouldn't, by the way. They shouldn't require you to discard.
Like they absolutely need to if you draw, but if you choose not to, it's a little odd.
If you choose to draw one card, then I think it's fair that you have to discard.
Yeah.
But if you choose to draw
Any
no
number of
cards,
drawing.
if you hit your brainstorm and you declined the plus, you shouldn't also go negative.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that just makes no sense.
There's also the question of like, how bad is your day going that you hit your brainstorm and you're like, I don't actually want a plus. Like, damn.
I decline.
I
will not draw any
refuse.
cards.
I have 7 bars left in my deck. I want to trigger them for my other effect. Because all the cards I want are in my waiting room, not in my deck.
Okay, I keep getting like hung up on like the stupidest shit. Real quick, let's just like go over this card's effects. The 1500 power is good because Sanai is not that big on her own, and you're intended to play it with Sanai. So now you have a way to get over things in the middle.
Yep.
And then the second effect is cool. It's like Sprig and Kirito, but Sprig and Kirito is like broken. This kind of reins it in a little bit. So you have to trigger a bar, and then you don't just automatically get anything out of your waiting room. You have to specifically, Rico. But that's also good because now you have top check knowledge of your next trigger.
Yeah.
And draw 2, ditch 2 is good because Sanai is already like hella selective. And this just gets you like extra filter and extra weight. If by some fucking chance you played triple Sanai and twin drived on all of them and didn't get your bar, this is an extra shot at getting it.
Yeah.
It's really cool. She's a cute little like girl. She's got a frog hat. She helps out Sanai because Sanai is like the shrine maiden at the Moria Shrine.
I think it was.
Which is a real place, by the way. You can go to the Great Moria Shrine. It's in Japan. People go there and leave like. Have you ever seen like the little like prayer tags?
Yeah.
That like you can draw on. People like leave Touhou themed like prayer tags there.
Aw.
And the town has just like totally embraced it.
Yeah.
They're like, yes, Touhou fans, please come to our town and spend your money here. And so people make pilgrimages to this Grand Sua Shrine to pray to Suwako.
So the way that works, like, that kind of has turned this video game character into a deity in real life.
Well, the crazy part is that, like, Touhou is, like, forgotten characters, right? So Suwako was, like, forgotten by the real world is, like, the in-game justification for being in Gensokyo.
Yeah.
And so that's why she's there now.
She's been revived in the
And like,
real
yeah,
world.
she's like been this fake character that didn't actually go away because they never existed has been revived. If I go to Japan again, I'd really like to visit this
Yeah.
and give my prayers and a few bucks to Suwako. Kind of a frog fan, actually. I'm kind of a frog enjoyer.
I mean, my Arknight's waifu of choice is a frog girl. So, like,
Hell yeah. All right, good choice.
blue poison. Me down. Alright. Enough about frogs, though.
Yeah.
Time
Talk
for
about ghosts. We have Yomu Konpaku, Deathly Desires. 4,000 power, level 1. And she gets 500 power for each of your other fantasy characters. So with a full board, she's sitting at 6k, pretty respectable. At the end of her attack, if you have her bar climax in the CX area and you have 2 or more other fantasy characters, you can discard a card. If you do, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 3 of this 2/0 event or fantasy characters from among them, reveal them to your opponent, put into your hand, put the rest into the waiting room. It's like a take on the Itsuki or Ilya level 1 combos, but happens at the end of attack instead of the beginning, and that has like some cool implications. It means that if you trigger a bar during your attack, you can then just immediately ditch the bar, do your combo. It means that you can like selectively kind of go. If you know that you have like climaxes left in your deck, you can go one at a time until you've decided you've seen enough cards, add them to your hand. These like end of attack climax combos give you like a little bit of like reactivity. You can react to what happens during that battle to decide what you're going to do. And it's Yomu. She's really cute. She's like a half ghost. She's half human, half ghost somehow. Like the flavor behind why she checks at the end of attack is because in the game, when you're fighting her, she does like a slash across the screen and then it pauses for a second. And then all the bullets from like where she slashed like shoot out across the screen. So it's like she attacks and then it's like a delayed bullet barrage. So that's why she attacks and then you get a delayed climax combo. Pretty cool. And then 2/0 event she gets is just like choose a character in waiting room, return it to your hand, gets 1,000 power, and then choose one of your trees. If it has 4 or less markers or memory, you can give it this event as a marker. So it just fuels your tree and it gives you extra selectivity in a combo that otherwise is just randomly grabbing cards off the top of your deck.
Yeah.
Oh, I talked for a long time. Do you have anything to say about this card?
I thought I did. I legitimately don't. She's cute. You've covered everything about the card itself. The
Sorry.
what do I have anything like the fact that this is a 2 more condition versus like the experience condition of like an Itsuki or means that it's like insanely easy just to get there. But like I mean I don't think that was even necessarily like that big of an issue in an Itsuki deck anyway. And
Mm-hmm.
that combo has been like there have been times at locals where it's like that was like the combo that to beat and annoy the shit out of me. Just because like my god, so much plus it's insane.
Yeah.
And also the fact that it super synergizes with like a bunch of the other like little elements that go into it that have like modified it. No, so the other stuff around it, like the fact that this just like is a super easy combo. Is just land, you pump one of the lanes with the tree. You have another lane of pump with a Sawako. So you got like an 8k, an 8-5, and a 7 swing.
You can play the Sawako with this, but you might not. Just because there's like a climax, there's a brainstorm that specifically like works with this card's climax.
Yeah.
Well, you could definitely just play the Sawako as like a assist that also gives power to center.
Yeah, just depending on like.
It's cool that
Yeah.
I tried to make it so nothing was like impossible to play with other cards, but like you just might not want to. But you can play weird shit like Sawako and Yomu if you want. I know I can tell you those characters have never interacted before. They can fight each other in 12.3, but I don't even remember if they have like actual like specific dialogue for beating each other.
Sure.
While the card itself might like be simpler than Itsuki, and this is a pretty minor like problem, but you don't have any back row that give you plus hand size in Touhou.
True.
So unlike Itsuki, who's ending turn with 9 cards in hand, you are maxing out at 7.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
I still think this card's quite good. I'm gonna give it a B plus. The whole set like averages like B plus A.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, it's the spike in me. Can't bear to see bad cards.
Yeah, no, it's like I feel the dress up darling kind of sits in a similar spot where it's like almost every one of those cards is playable, and some of them are like cracked as shit. We haven't gotten to anything in this set that really feels like insanely cracked. It's just like a overall high power level so far.
Yeah,
I'm sure that we'll get there.
I'm sure red will have some dangers. Like alarms will start going off.
Yeah, but for now it's perfectly fine. So it's
That's
just
right.
a nice high power custom set that you can play into other people's reasonable to high power custom sets and feel good about playing the property you're playing. It's what customs is about ultimately.
Yeah, there's nothing so far that's gonna make your opponent like groan and like their eyes roll out of their skull, and like your deck just like plays itself.
Yeah, definitely not. All right.
Event gets like the same rating that the Yomu did, -1. You only play it with
Hmm.
Barbook. Um,
Yeah, that's right.
you feed your tree. You get a guy.
Feature.
Cool card.
Yeah.
This next card has changed since the last time you've seen it. It's a very minor change, but
Right.
I think you'll find it interesting.
Cool. I see what you've done here. All right. So when this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you may discard a fantasy character to deal a fantasy character from your clock to your hand. If you have another Aaron Yagokoro Horizon Pharmacist, which is this 1/1 red assist we'll talk about later. This card gets the following ability to the end of the opponent's turn. When this card becomes reversed, return this card to your hand. So she's got some like immortality shit going on. She's the eternal
Yeah,
princess.
she's
After
low
all.
power, but you get her back, so it's all right.
Yeah. When this card is placed on the
Oh.
stage from your hand, you may accelerate by putting a fantasy character from Winnigram to the bottom of your clock. If you do, deal 1 damage, and you cannot use the accelerate effect of Kaguya Horizon Eternal Princess till end of turn. When this card attacks, if you have her bar in the climax area, and you have the copy of the Horizon Pharmacist, you pay cost to deal 2 damage. So pay 1, pitch 1, deal 2. Pay 1, pitch 1, deal 2.
I think with the field condition on it, that could actually probably just be dropped to ditch 1, huh?
Yeah, or you could make it like Marine Burn and deal 3.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it should be able to
Oh,
get
dealing
to.
3 is kind of funny actually, because then that's with the accelerate burn one.
Yeah,
That turns every 2 attacks into lethal.
yeah.
All right.
That's
Well,
something you gotta think about. Which one you'd rather have. But
so there was a problem with this card before. Was that you were supposed to play it in an accelerate deck, but this card itself didn't actually have an accelerate ability on it.
Yeah.
So I try to think like what's like a cheap accelerate that I can put on it that's like relevant for when you would play it, but also isn't like too broken. I was like, oh well, what if I just give you like a free burn, but you can only do it once? And so I've been trying to figure out how to make a hard once per turn.
Yeah.
Because initially it just said, and your other Kaguya can't use this effect until end of turn. But then I realized, wait a minute, I don't think that counts copies that are still in your hand. I think that would just hit the ones on the stage. It
Probably.
was driving me insane how you're supposed to word this. But it feeds the Aaron. So the Aaron gets markers when you accelerate. And this one gives her a marker now. So now there's a reason for you to play these 2 cards together.
Yeah. I'm glad that you've made this change. It has definitely done some very interesting things to this card's place.
Oh, and it's really cool. You can accelerate a copy of this card from waiting room to
Uh-huh.
clock,
And then
and then heal
heal.
at 10. It's actually so cool.
Dude, yeah,
I thought that was a really cool like little interaction. Like you can only do it once,
yeah, but like
but
still,
like oh
yeah,
weird, the climax combo changed. How did
yeah.
that happen?
So now we're at the deal 3 version because I'm pretty sure you're perfectly on spec to do that. That is, yeah, man,
Yeah, this is so much cooler than it was before.
yeah.
It used to just be like
So good.
the Mega Me combo, but like why would you ever play this card in the accelerate deck if it doesn't accelerate? And there
Yeah,
we go. We figured it out.
yeah, yeah. I do like it. Is it? Has it gotten
No, I don't
better,
think it's
worse,
an
or
A, but I think it's
neutral?
quite good.
I don't know. I like the like Marion on a bar but instead of like Myrene effect, it's like it's not as good as an on play effect, and everyone knows that like that's the thing that made Myrene like turbo crack for as long as she's been, as like the default like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing level 3. I guess I'm doing Myrene, which fits because of her
Yeah.
lifestyle and choices and everything. Everyone's doing Myrene. That's fine.
It's still
Yeah.
what? It's 6, 7. It's 10 stock to do triple of this and play Kyoko. I think that's reasonable. You have ways to gain stock in the Accelerate deck.
Yeah.
So I think you could pretty reasonably stock swap, play 3 of this thing, do the Accelerate effect once.
Yeah, it's not like the easy as hell play that like the triple Myrene is, but like it is fun. It is flavorful in the ways that is like maybe not like as crazy as like a finisher combo. It is made up for this by the fact that it is. I mean, it's also going like 3/3, and like with just like an extra 1 in the world. Just like I don't know.
The one is basically free.
Yeah, the one is
Oh, and
literally
funnily
free.
enough, you can actually just play this card in other decks. Like, yeah. You can actually just play like a copy of this card in other decks
It's like main base.
and just like burn one on play. And that's like actually like a reason. That's what Sao does. They play the Mito that's on play burn one, but then they don't play the climax combo with it.
Oh my god, because
They
the
just
burn doesn't. Oh my god, the burn doesn't need the air, and you're right. Oh man.
You know what's funny? Initially it did, and it was taking up too much text. Like it was the text box was getting a little unwieldy.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
yeah.
I mean, we're
Yeah.
already dealing with a sizable one just to get this on there, but I feel like it's worth it as a change. Wild. All right, let's go talk about the.
Erin's funny. She's like a 20-year-old meme. She's a level assist. Good card already. When you use Accelerate, if you do not have another Erin Yagakoro, so this is like limited to only having one copy on stage. When you use Accelerate, marker a character from your waiting room. At the end of your turn, you can remove 2 markers from her to heal 1. How this ends up working is every 2 accelerates, you get 1 free. Or rather, for every 2 accelerates, you heal 1. So yeah, you took 2 damage, but then you got 1 back. It does require a stock up front, but it's pretty cool.
So like, when you use Accelerate, if you do not have another copy, then put 2 markers, and it doesn't require you to rest her to do that.
It doesn't require you to rest her to do that, but you'd only ever be able to resolve it once per end of turn anyways.
Yeah, you can't like if you meet 4 markers, you can't send 2.
Right.
Okay, gotcha. Fair enough.
I don't think you'd ever even get to the point where you have that many markers underneath it, though.
Well, it's like a triple racing, and then like I don't know, you played a Kage or something.
If you're playing Kaguya and Racing on the same turn,
Yeah, life has gotten
things have
very
gone
strange.
things have gone horribly awry for you.
You probably don't need to be accelerating for it.
No, you probably don't want to be accelerating at that point.
There's something funny to me about the I know it's partially because it's like a kind of a moon thing, accelerate, but like just like these immortals like rushing you to your death faster because I don't know, like what are you just trying to keep up with them or something? Hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hard to say.
I just know that like they have like the lunacy theme going on because of like how the
Yeah.
moon is like associated with lunacy.
Right. I mean that
And
is
I was like, what makes you more of a lunatic
yeah, the
than throwing your whole deck into your clock every turn?
yeah. And I mean that I forgot to read Kage's flavor text. Like, would it be okay to look at this full moon and go insane just a little bit?
I don't remember why she says that shit.
It's Touhou. Sometimes people just say shit. It's great.
No, I mentioned this to you before, but like sometimes like the characters kind of just have like a one-sided conversation with like the antagonist. They'll be like, "We're here to stop you from doing whatever it is that you're trying to do," and then they just hit you with the, "Wouldn't it be okay to look at this full moon and go insane just a little bit?" And they're just like, "What? What are you talking about?" And they just start reciting poetry at each other, and it's like, "No, I'm here to fight you."
No, it's please to stop. I've read the.
See, Erin, she's like, yeah, she tells you exactly what she's all about. Kaguya, she gets a little weird with it. And yeah, the video helped me Aaron. It's because Kaguya basically just counts on Aaron to do everything for her. When you beat Kaguya, Aaron appears and they do like a few like spell cards together.
Oh.
And you don't even have to survive them. You can literally die to all of them, and you'll still have completed the game.
Aw.
It's just like for extra score.
Alright. That's cute. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
The only other thing that we didn't talk about for the Aaron, end of turn. So if she's reversed, you cannot heal. Keep her in the back row. Don't move her around.
Yeah. Keep your level assist in your back row. Novel animation.
So both of the accelerate combos are pretty good. The Kagi is good. The Raisin is good. So this assist is probably also good.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it for that one. Let's move on to Kaneko.
This is Kaneko Yasuka Sacred Water. 10k, level 3. On play, pitch a card to heal to stock. When Divine Virtues of Wind God is placed in your climax area, if this card is in your center stage, you have 2 or more other goddess trait characters. So subtype locked. Choose one of your characters, and that character gets 1,000 power and the following ability till end of turn. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, pitch 1 to burn 3.
This is probably like just like the most boring of the climax combo finishers.
It is very straightforward. That's true. It's also
You know what's funny is you could actually play the Kaguya with Sanai for your 8-bar deck.
yeah. You
You might
absolutely
even
could.
do that because I think Kaguya is just better.
I mean,
Rip
oh
Kaneko.
no.
You know what? Kaneko's like my least favorite character. Like not because I think she's like badly written or anything, but just because she's like really hateable.
Fair.
So I'm gonna say that that's my reasoning for why she didn't get very good cards. Well, her other one's better than this one is at least.
Yeah, this one definitely is like a man. I wouldn't have thought about it until you said that, but now I'm thinking about it, it's like a holy shit. You're right. This card is just like worse now. Oh man.
Yeah, that's really funny.
That
It's
is-
actually really funny. Well, okay, it's not entirely true because you do have to have Aaron on stage to resolve all of Kage's effects.
uh-huh.
So there is like some concession for like why you might choose to play Kaneko over Kaguya.
Yeah, just so that you don't have to splash red in the 8-bar build that you're probably
Yeah.
working with. That's fair.
So there is a reason that there's at least like a world that you do play this,
It is
but I
not-
don't want to live in that world.
Yeah. Look, a god has to eliminate all those who oppose their struggle through faith. Unfortunately,
But
she
like
is
I
the one
said, at
being
least
eliminated.
stock is not like an issue. So you can just freely play your 2-1 Sanae and like dump all of your stock into the waiting room and not worry about it.
Yeah.
Just keep healing.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why you would choose to play this, because it's like after you've healed 13 times at level 2, you just hit him with the burn 3 to seal it out.
Yeah, you could also, like, you've got, like, 2 of this. You got, like, Sowako in the back row, and then you just have Flandre as your third attacking lane.
Oh yeah, why not?
Because
You only need 2 other goddess characters. You can have whatever the fuck else you want.
Yeah, and you can just stack those on reverse burn 3s on the Flandre.
Oh, because
already
she's kind of
getting
big,
big.
yeah.
So she'll get to like 15k with like the climax and the on reverse burn 3. So it's like
Yeah,
two
that's cute. I
switches.
like that idea.
Oh, also this character is missing a soul.
How did I do that so much?
It
And
is-
how am I only noticing?
I don't know
all
how I haven't noticed this either. Right? Like how
That's
the
funny.
fuck?
Because we both, as far as I know, we've both looked through all of this already.
We've both
And,
looked
like,
at
we
these
noticed
cards
a few.
like 5 times.
You'd think that we would have noticed the rest.
Yeah. Was
But
I
we've
just-
hit 3 of them while doing this. See, it's a good thing I keep MSE open
Yeah. Just...
while we do this. I'm like ready. I'm like the pit crew, dude. I'm ready to
Yeah.
get in there and fix it up.
Oh man, that's beautiful. All right. Well,
Okay,
none of this
Okay,
force.
Hina. This Hina's really cool.
Yeah, move on to another goddess. Very cool goddess.
We got Hina Kageyama, warding bad luck. On play from hand, put the top card of your opponent's stock into the waiting room. Then choose any card in your opponent's waiting room and put it in their stock. You can probably tell what you do with that. On play, it's also a drop salvage, and then pump a character 1,000 power.
Yep.
It's like a generic good at card.
Yeah.
I don't know why I got Italian there for a moment.
Isagura Khan. You put it in your deck.
It's because her hair reminds me of Linguini. Or not her hair, her ribbon. You know what I meant. Really funny card. Never play it going first on turn 1 because then you're forced to just give your opponent a stock.
Like, you can play it turn 0. As long as they didn't. No, they probably
That's
mulligan.
true.
Never mind.
Well, if
Never
they
mind.
mauled anything, yeah,
Yeah.
you're shit out of luck.
Yeah.
Hina's funny. Her whole deal is that so she's like a beneficial force for humans. She draws their misfortune and like takes it onto her own. But if you go too close to her, you suddenly start becoming very misfortunate, which is why your climaxes might accidentally end up in your stock.
Too close to the cute girly. Just give me
But you can just play it as like a one of it. That also like, especially right before refresh, right? Your opponent's like one card in deck, you just like hit them with the reverse Fumio. Or instead of getting all -1 climax, you just take one climax out.
Yeah. Oh, wait. So you hit him with the Fumio and then you bury the last climax they had.
Oof.
Sucks to suck. And then they just play it back up and it's like, oh, shit.
So really funny. Like, say your opponent has like a deck of like 7 cards with 6 cards in stock, and you stock swap them with Kyoko. Well, then you remove another one with this card, and all of a sudden your opponent's like, I am refreshing with 3 climaxes and 35 cards. What the hell do I do?
Oh, God. Yeah,
And you get them with the lol.
the only other time I saw this ability really was another custom set because Dress Up Darling also put a level 0 with this top effect on it, but theirs was a stock bomb.
Oh yeah, that's cursed.
So yeah, like that deck also has both players free fresh on an event.
No, that's cursed.
So like yeah,
No, no,
it
no.
is far more dangerous technology. Here it's just like it's much more incidental. That in that deck it's like
Oh no,
maybe you
this
played
is
the
a
match.
bonus. It's a bonus here for playing a drop salvage.
Yeah, and drop salvages are like I have seen many cases of people like, yeah, I don't need a drop salvage. I'm only playing the Choco for the mill 3. I'd never want a drop salvage. It's like, brother, you don't understand. And also because you're playing this in the goddess deck where your stock is free as hell anyway.
Yeah, why not? It's just extra
Why
selection
not?
to make sure that you can keep resolving Sanai.
Yeah. Make sure.
Sanai and Sanai before you resolve Kaneko and
Yeah.
Kaneko.
And flounder it.
Meanwhile, Suwako just chilling.
Yeah.
She does just be chilling. Suwako would be rolling mad blunts. Like she's like one of those characters for sure.
Smoke frogs every day.
Yeah, smoke. They're
Because
putting
people,
shit in the weed to make the freaking frogs gay.
they actually there's like people who like use frogs for like hallucinogenic purposes, right?
Oh,
Like
those
the
are
back of
toads,
toads.
right? I think those are
Yeah.
toads
So
actually.
like I don't know if Suwako has like a stance on toads
Um,
instead of frogs, but like she could totally be doing
I,
that.
I think she'd be a fan of toads also.
Get close enough,
She
right?
doesn't seem like the discriminatory sort.
Yeah, that's fair.
Suwako is very much like peace and love.
Yeah, she is absolutely licking mad frogs on a daily basis.
I've only ever seen this Hina first effect in like Monogatari and Love Live and like
Hmm.
actual Way Schwartz.
Right.
And in Love Live they have stock swap Fumio plus
Uh-huh.
this card.
Yeah.
And like it's a lot. That's like a lot of decompression.
Yeah, this set doesn't have Fumio.
We don't have
Does it?
Fumio. And I don't think we have Shuffle Back either. Maybe that's a set 2 invention. But we do
Uh,
have this plus true stock swap, which is a good combo.
yeah. I mean, it's like a level 1 character for that too. Just the pay through on it. So like, hmm. So yeah, this is kind of just an easy add-in as well. I mean, like
Yeah,
green isn't
anything that's
actually
like fine with
much of it.
green is like fuck it, play a copy of Hina.
Yeah, might as well. All right.
Tojiko.
Yep. This is Tojiko Saga. She's a ghost. Ooh. I just place on the stage from your hand to reveal a top card of your deck. If that card is a fantasy character, she's up to 2 of your opponent's cost 0 or lower characters. Those characters cannot stand during your opponent's next stand phase. And then she is also an act A1 sack herself to check 4 for a fantasy character. She's a level 1 character, which it may not immediately be obvious other than the big glowing 1 up there. But this is true.
The silly thing about this card is that Tojiko shows up as a mid boss with no dialogue and then just dies and we don't see her again. So I had to take a character with no dialogue and no personality really at all and think, what do I do with this? Well, I know that all of her attacks involve thunder. I think her power is that she can just create like thunder and lightning. And it's like, well, what does electricity do in like every game? Oh, it paralyzes you. It's like Pokemon, paralyzes you. So she's got the dog effect from To Love Ru, where she stuns two cost 0 characters, and then she just fucks off. And so why not have her literally fuck off and grab another guy? You play her down, she's too small, you stun some guys, and you kill her off and get a different guy. Or you sack her with Mamizo and search for an actual good
Oh
card.
yeah, yeah, that works.
Why not?
Played on stage from hand. Taps, locks down 2 characters. Goes to filter. Leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the kind of creation out of nothing aspect. Very cool. I think it's probably right.
Yeah, I was kind of proud of that.
Dependent.
It's like okay, you'd like if you were playing green and you wanted this, you could play one copy. You can like, despite having nothing to do with those characters, you can very easily play it in the Yomu Yuyuko deck
She's a ghost.
because it's death trait. Because she's a ghost.
Yeah, because undead just kind of all live in death trait, apparently.
That's right. You encounter her in a mausoleum.
Huh.
And you can play as Yomu in that game. And Yuko's the first boss of that. Oh, it's all coming together.
Yeah.
They secretly were all related this whole time. Next card, we probably don't need to like waste a bunch of time like talking about too much. It's cute. We got Medicine. She is an anti-change. She's the Agil, or what's that man's other name? Gilbert. That's the better name. Gilbert from Sao. Pay to ditch a character on backup to anti-change to waiting room. So it's actually worse than Gilbert because he puts it to bottom deck. But it's fine. It didn't need to get like the best anti-change profile in the world because you have a million ways to get this. Z plus. You have a million ways to get this to your hand through cards like Show and Ran. So just having access to anti-change counter is like enough, and also it's flavor because Medicine, her body is poisonous, so she'd be killing guys.
Yeah, it would be cool if she was the damage backup profile.
The damage backup profile.
The one where it's like when you use this backup, if you beat some surprisingly minor condition nowadays, you can pay a cost to just deal a damage to your opponent, or deal 2 even. There's a version that deals 2 for like a stricter condition.
That could be in the Phantasmagoria of Flower View Premium Booster.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me.
A very underutilized character.
Yeah, she's like this.
As far as I know, has only ever had one appearance.
Yeah, she's like this other doll character in a setup where like the primary doll related character is just Alice, and you just like, oh yeah, no, there's this like kind of evil sort of doll just kind of floating around.
In the same game.
Yeah,
he doesn't even interact. It's like such an obvious pairing.
What the fuck? In Phantom Magic Vision, you put her in the same deck with all of the Alice cards, along with Alice's other myriad dolls, just because like she's doll trait. There's synergy.
Yeah,
and she wasn't a bad effect.
If this was Old Weiss and Alice could only grab doll trait characters, you would just search for Medicine every time.
Yeah, you would.
Oh, this is one of those potential war crime cards. We have Futo Mononobe, Feng Shui Master. On play, you can pay 1, ditch. No, you can on play, you can pay 3, ditch 1, and this is already a cost 1, so you're paying 4. Play this card down and do this. If you do that, put all of your opponent's characters into their memory. If you do, put those characters on separate positions of your opponent's stage. So it's got like the Suisei / Nagato effect. And then when it becomes reversed, if the level of this card's battle opponent is higher level than your opponent's level, you can clock bomb it. So it's a clock bomb early play killer. And also it has an incredibly expensive Nagato effect on it. But if you need it, you need it. If you need it, you're going to pay that for.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely a card that just exists to just clear some matchups entirely. It's a lot of stock, but guess what? It's a deck that is already pretty okay with having that stock available to it. That's right, the green goddess deck once again. This can just easily slide in like a copy of this. Is like
it is pretty funny if you play this against Eins. Like obviously you like clear all the markers and everything. But then this card is also just instantly capable of like bombing Eins
Yeah.
for no
Fucking
counterplay.
just obliterate obliterate the Eins, man. Like
Yeah, this card instantly wins the Overlord matchup. Like they actually just like can't even play the game against you.
I feel like it might actually beat that just on that principle. But yeah, but outside of that and like the strangeness that has happened to the clock bomb wording. we I think we may have copy pasted an archaic version of that text a little bit.
Wait, actually, did they change it?
I feel like they have. It's like it says like it doesn't read like it feels like this is more awkward to read than usual.
If the level of this card's battle opponent is higher than your opponent's level. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, that's why I tripped you up because
I
it's
definitely
tricky to
got
read.
that from somewhere though. I wonder where.
It would have been like an older translation. I know that I've seen this before. It's just
Oh,
that
that's funny.
it's like just like an older copy for reasons.
That's funny. I couldn't even tell you where I got that from. I don't even know any like clockadachis off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyways, it's funny. Her thing is like, feng shui. It's like the art of like ordering things or like placing things specifically so that they have like power.
Yeah.
And she's moving your guys around. She's like rearranging the furniture.
Yeah.
She's like, the chakras of this couch are not aligned properly. We need to move it a foot to the left.
No, you don't understand. If the couch is on this side of the room, everyone is going to burn to death. What?
That's right.
Trust me. Anyway, moving on. Another Kaneko card.
We have a better Kaneko here.
Yeah, she's also a level 3. Both her cards are level 3, and one of them is an off finisher, lower rarity. It's just more likely to see play.
That's right.
When this card is placed on stage from your hand, draw 2. If you draw up to 2, and pitch 1, as is tradition.
God. It only has one soul.
Oh my fucking god.
How did that happen on every level three? Dude, I woke up at 4 a.m. for work today. I can't be seeing shit like this. I'm gonna keep laughing at it.
Oh, it's fine. It's funny. But when this card attacks, you can pay 1, pitch 1 to give this card 2,000 power, and on reverse deal 1 until end of turn.
Yeah, I don't think this profile ever saw play much in English, but in Japanese, this used to be on the ban list. It was considered too strong. You could only play 2 copies of that in your deck.
Remind me, which
And
was this again?
that was in Railgun.
Right, yes, a railgun.
It was Misaka and Kuroko.
Yeah, I feel like
And the foil of that card looks very nice.
Yeah, I feel like by the time we saw this, it was just like we'd already gone far
That's
enough.
not where that goes.
But yeah, it's like
It's fine. You can play like a copy in any deck playing green.
Yeah, just like
an off finisher.
An extra little bit of draw power, economic security, whatever.
It draws you cards and it filters cards. And Kaneko herself is like, yeah, whatever. It's actually not like flavorful.
Yeah,
Kaneko's kind of like a giant bitch. That's like her character. She just like shows up in Gensokyo and she's like, we're gonna start taking over other shrines. And she takes over. She like flies the Grand Sua Shrine up to like the top of a fucking mountain. She's like, "Yep, this is our mountain now."
She just stole the Sua Shrine. Like, bye.
Yeah, because she beat Suwako in a fight.
Yeah, I do.
Because Suwako uses metal weapons, but Kaneko can call down storms. So she rusted all of Suwako's weapons.
Oh, okay. Not like threw lightning at her. Okay, that's
yeah.
She could have done worse then. That's fair. But yeah, they had an actual fight then, not like a Danmaku battle.
Right, because they fought in the outside world before coming to Gensokyo.
Huh. Damn.
Or what did they? I don't remember. But yeah, they definitely like had like an actual fucking like war.
I'm glad that Kaneko's dead. Moving on.
We have a bird. It's Misty Lorelei, Night Sparrow. On play, you can blink one of your opponent's guys, and at the start of your opponent's attack phase, you can just freely move it to another open position in the center stage. So it's just a runner you can play that also happens to blink a guy on play.
She's cute.
And Misty is really cute. She's a little sparrow.
She's music trait.
She is music trait for your music standard deck. You can freely play her in that deck. An interesting thing about this card is that the logo in the bottom right is not properly set up.
Oh.
That's not flavor. That's actually just a mistake. That I cannot believe how much we're noticing now.
Huh.
Touhou's kind of funny. I have a whole bunch. We haven't really seen them yet, but there's a whole bunch of runners in here that all just do like different things.
Hmm.
So you can play like a weird split of runners that also have like extra effects stapled onto them,
Yeah.
and then grab them later in the game when you might need those effects.
Yeah.
Mystia having this effect is like flavor because when she sings, it can like disorient or cause blindness in humans.
Hmm. That would be
And then
like,
she herself is a little bird, so she can just kind of flit around.
yeah, like there's definitely an argument for like every playable character to have some kind of runner effect because the whole like mechanic of the game involves like getting just up to like dodging project a bunch of projectiles, but also like kind of like trying to like cozy on up to them just enough for those extra little
You want
points.
to, yeah, you want to dodge them, but you want to like also be like nudging up against them.
Yeah, it's like
Exactly.
but like at least like every playable character is like well bam right there they're playable in
Well, we're
something.
gonna see an event that kind of enables that in red.
Yeah.
Misty is cute. I noticed she did not get the coolness rating. She got a cute rating.
Yeah, she's cute. She's not terribly cool, but the card is a good combo
Wriggle,
profile.
our next card, Wriggle. She's also got a cute box.
Yeah, I mean, look at her.
She's a little bug. She's a little firefly.
Yeah, I mean, simple enough effect too. Bright insect she is. When her opponent is reversed, put the top card of your opponent's clock in the winning room to put that character in your opponent's clock. She's just a 2500 that clock kicks. Is
She's a clock kick because when you encounter her in the game, she comes from off screen like kind of fast and abrupt. She kicks you. It looks like her toes like bump you, and then you lose a life like the first time you encounter her. Wriggle really is like the Dark Souls of Touhou.
Yeah,
The card's like fine. I don't think you play it though.
really.
But the effect is good, and like that power means that it probably is killing and removing anything it needs to.
Yeah.
But it's also not big enough for you to play like a bunch of copies of it.
Yeah, like it's not hard to get it to a point where it like can it hit through like a 3500 Death Ricky. Like,
Yeah.
do this play super well into the Aqua profile?
Aqua herself is probably the only thing relevant that this actually struggles to kill.
Yeah,
Like it clears cherries, it clears most on Death Rickies. Aqua is just kind of her own anomaly.
yeah, and it's not hard to get it to the point where she can just kind of do that too, because you've got a
Yeah.
decent number of like
Byakuran puts it over. Byakuran puts it at enough power.
yeah, and then you have the then you have
You have the
clock
clean
to do
cut.
it. Yeah,
It's so funny.
so you could save this to then.
And go again.
Yeah, all right, yeah, cool. See, good little bug.
Byakuran and Wriggle. That's a funny combination.
One of the mightiest of gods who's trade themselves, or not even gods, just a mage who has like modulate themselves into like big physical number and hit bug.
Yeah. We got Parsi. Read in Japanese as Parusi. That's where you get Paru from. Parsi Mizuhashi, green-eyed monster. All your opponents get pay 2 encore. And at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may mill the top card of their deck. If it's a level 2 or higher card, draw 1 card. Choose a card in your hand and put it into the waiting room. So it's a 3k that incidentally might give you draw ditches and lets you mess with your opponent's deck. The only downside being it's not that good late game
Yeah,
because would eat a back row slot and gives your opponents encore. And late game encore 2 might like actually be something that they would consider doing.
yeah. It's another card you could like maybe see some work with for like sack off of Flandre or whatever.
This card's a lot funnier in Steins Gate where it's on their brainstorm.
Yeah.
So it's just like an omnipresent threat
God.
every single turn of the game.
God,
Like especially remember like against Love Live Sunshine, which was like kind of popular at the time. They scry. They're like, oh shit, yeah, I got a level 3 on top of my deck for my Yo burn, but then Steins Gate just like mills it. It's like, oh. And then they reveal a climax, and it's like, oh. Anyways, Parsi's whole thing is that she's very jealous of everything, even things that she has no reason to be jealous of. Even if she was better off than you in every single way, she would make up a reason to be jealous of you.
How come?
And she's jealous of your opponent for playing higher level cards than you.
How come you look so good while you're burning? I want to look that good when I'm burning.
That's exactly the kind of shit she would be saying. But she's really cute. So we give her a pass for it. And her dress is like cool. Like it's got like a cool like color scheme going on.
She's got like elf girl vibes.
She does have pointy ears. She just inexplicably is one of the few characters to have pointy ears for no reason.
Wild.
So in most fan art, you will see that she's drawn as like kind of an elf-looking character.
Correct. Right. This is not an elf. This is a fairy. This is Lily White, the Herald of Spring.
Yep.
When she's placed on stage from your hand, the middle top two, if there's a climax from among them, you may declare, "It's spring!" to your opponent, and this card gets plus useful until end of turn. Please take care to avoid disrupting your surroundings. It's spring! When this card attacks, if the character facing this card is level 2, this card gets plus 6,000 power till end of turn.
It's like a funny level 2 killer that you probably don't play, but it's funny. You like open it in a pack and you're like, heh. You like chuckle to yourself as you read it.
It's spring!
So it is flavorful, right? Lily only has like 2 real appearances in the games. In Touhou 7, she appears as on your way to like the netherworld where you're gonna go fight Yoma and Yuyuko. Because finally it's showing signs of spring, and she's so excited that she greets the protagonists and just starts blasting them because she cannot like contain her excitement of it being spring. And then the same thing happens again in Phantasmagoria Flower View. She's just really excited that it's springtime and shows up to like blast you. So like it's like the running theme of Lily is that like she gets so excited during spring that she like can't help herself and just starts firing off bullets like in every direction.
It's alright, Lily. Many people have that problem. At
Yeah,
various ages.
she's like a silly goose, but like you know what? It is gonna be really funny if like someone's like, I just need a level 2 killer, and they like play this, and they do hit that, and they just scream at their opponent.
Hey, guess what, buddy? What? No, no,
Like,
no, no, no. Pull out a
if
megaphone.
your opponent plays Lily White and they mill 2 climaxes, and they grin at you, and you know what's coming, and you're just like, no, not again.
No, it's you don't get to be louder just because it's 2. And it's just like they pull out like a megaphone and they hold a megaphone in front of the megaphone so they can actually reach like across the table directly into your face.
Dude, I thought you were gonna say something completely different. I don't know why my brain went to this. They mill 2. I thought you were gonna say they mill 2 climaxes and they pull out like a Glock and they just start shooting around.
Because she's just spraying.
Oh, just start firing it into the air. Dun, 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 dun.
That's South Weiss Schwartz right there.
That's what we have to deal with in Texas when we play Weiss.
Just like
Kind of weird.
Don't disrupt your surroundings. Meanwhile, the surroundings.
Meanwhile, your guy next to you is firing a fucking machine gun. Yeah.
Oh, man. To kill the boars. We gotta get rid of them
That's
boars.
right.
They're
Lily would be
wild.
very effective at boar removal. Deborification actually is the official name.
Deborification. Oh my god. Alright. Arm stretch. Moving on.
2 more green cards. We're almost through.
Yeah, this one's easy.
Oh, this one's funny. All the counters are like kind of simple.
Yeah.
This one's a little interesting. It's a 1/1 2000 power backup. But when you use it, you put the top X cards of your opponent's deck into their waiting room. X is equal to the number of your fantasy characters. Interestingly enough, all of these cards now, all of this profile, it always mills the bottom cards of your opponent's deck, but it doesn't actually matter where the cards come from,
Oh.
right?
Oh
Like,
shit.
it doesn't actually matter if they come from the top or the bottom. You're still randomly hitting between 3 and 5 cards from your opponent's deck.
Yeah. Huh.
It's like an okay backup. It's really funny versus Macross. They mill down their whole deck and then try to free fresh, but instead you just force them to refresh.
Yeah.
And
Huh.
Kisame, she'd like she's a little bucket girl. She like drops on your opponent's head and they drop some cards.
Well.
Funny enough, she's like a little girl in a bucket, but she's like carnivorous and like bones are found
Oh.
around the well that she resides in. So she's eaten.
Is she a dork?
Probably. We don't have any dialogue from her.
Here's what we'll do.
Kisame one of the cool things about Symposium of Post Mysticism, I think it is. There's like descriptions of all the characters that are from that era, and I believe in hers, it like has like threat levels for all the characters, and like threat level high for Kisame.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see that because like she has manipulation over that well bucket. Dealing with humans, she'd be pretty lethal. Dealing with anything else, she's just like kind of a cute yokai. I don't know. I am one of those people who would be like I'm easy prey for some of these characters. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I'm wrong. Sorry, she doesn't actually have an article at all.
Rip.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she would absolutely get me. I would be a meal. It would not be hard.
What? She's like 3 feet tall.
She's like I would just go down to the well and then I'd be looking in the well and she'd just drop on me and I'd be surprised and die.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
It'd be easy.
You'd be pretty surprised to see a little girl pop out of a well.
She's like, "Hey, come check out this well, isn't it great?" And then just boom, and I'm dead.
Yeah.
It's tragic.
All right, we got some of the funniest flavor text for the last green card.
Yes.
It's Yuka Kazami, Flower Master. She's a 1/1 5500, and she tells Shinky in Touhou 5, massacres are a kind of game too. It doesn't matter whether it's humans or Makai residents. I believe in the original translation it just straight up, she just said one sentence, genocide is a game. And it's like, okay, Yuka, chill the fuck out. But she can't be reversed by cost 0 or lowers. And when she reverses a character, if you have any climax in your climax area, stock a level 0 or lower character from your waiting room.
Yeah, this seems solid. A solid, like, low level card. It is a 1/1, which is, obviously slightly awkward when the thing it's doing is refunding stock, hypothetically. But
Yeah. It definitely is like begging for like a second standby.
Yeah.
Like this card really wants to be one of your level 1 standby targets, but there's only one standby in the set.
Yeah.
I think it would be a lot better, in 8 standby.
For sure.
And it'd be kind of cracked actually in 8 standby too, because it probably just gets like random pot shots at low power characters.
Yeah.
And stock charges you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, standby like it also exists in that weird space where like it's gonna have less level 0 lower characters in it, and if it's a set that's gotten like 2 full sets of this level support in it, there's a good chance your level 0 lineup is like maybe just a bunch of cards that you want to keep seeing, but like even still,
yeah,
it's stock.
I mean, you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and with that, let's end a green. We'll be back with red, and where things get very, very wild very quickly.
We do start going off the rails in red.
Yeah, we've had rails this time. This time.